Okay, well, this is Baruch here. We're at the Tikkun elevator Kolel, and we're tending to help to get the ride up to the very top. There's only room at the top. Where is up at the top? That is the place of the connection with the most ultimate being, Hashem Yisbarach. From last time he wrote like this: when consciousness frees itself from its identification with physical and mental forms, it becomes what we may call pure awakened consciousness or pure soul energy. Now it has to be really refined a little bit, that idea. We understand the concept of trying to eliminate the constant conflict that's going on in our minds and being able to come to a clear place where we can watch it. But now he says it can lead to pure soul. So here now we come to, this is part 17. The inner soul, body, and healing. So this is a piece by the Me'eret Anayim, and it's in Parshas Eikev, and it says like this: one who merits having the secret of attachment with Hashem, that's Devekus, will then merit to the secret of equality. How does he get equality? Because he is able to see the godliness in everything. In turn, he will merit to having the secret of meditation, and in turn merit to the divine spirit, and from this to prophecy, where eventually he will receive prophecy and tell the future. So he said, because we have to learn to be able to look, right? To be aware. The body can become a point of access into the realm of the soul. Let us understand this better. As mentioned earlier, to grasp these concepts, one must stop trying to understand the being of the soul. If you were to search back in your past, you would find significant glimpses and experiences of the soul. The mind will nevertheless always try to squeeze it into a little box and then put a label on it. It cannot be done. It cannot become an object of knowledge. It's a problem. It's a big problem for me. So I'm always trying to learn. I want to gather knowledge. When I'm praying, and this is, I'm speaking for myself, when I'm praying, oftentimes I have insights. Once I have the insight, I lose everything else, because what happens is the mind automatically wants to squeeze my thoughts or my insights into a little box and then put a label on it. It cannot become an object of knowledge. When in a state of connectedness with your soul, subject and object merge into one. The soul can be felt as the ever-present I am, that is beyond name and form. To feel and thus to know and to abide in that deeply rooted state of soul awareness is true utopia, and you will be free from the illusion that you are nothing more than your physical body and your mind. Now let me read this one more time. He says, the goal can be felt as the ever-presence I am, that is beyond name and form. To be able to remove yourself, which was the last week's, where he ended last week on the little blurb he said it last week, talked about form, to remove yourself from this concept of name and form. To feel, which is a difficult state. To feel and thus to know and to abide in that deeply rooted state of soul awareness is true utopia. And you will be free from the illusion that you are nothing more than your physical body and your mind. This illusion of the self is the core error. Let's read it again. You'll be free from the illusion that you are nothing more than your physical body and your mind, because that's what it is that we're constantly devoted to our egoistic self, which is our physical body. And, we worry about ourselves. We're always worried about ourselves. This illusion of the self is the core error, where you think that's you. You will be free from fear in its countless disguises as the inevitable consequence of that illusion. The fear that is your constant tormentor, as long as you derive your sense of self only from this transient and vulnerable form. What to be thought about? The soul can be felt as the ever-present I am that is beyond name and form. I want to just read one more part, one more time. He says like this: the illusion of the self, of who you really are, is the core error. If you can realize who you really are, and he was talking at other times, he was talking about, what was that very beginning that he said over here? He said, the secret of equality, to realizing the godliness that pervades all reality. So that's the core error, is to think that it's your body or your fears. In that case, you will be free from fear and its countless disguises as the inevitable consequence of that illusion, because the fear comes along with different kinds of things that scare you. The fear that is your constant tormentor, as long as you derive your sense of self only from this transient and vulnerable form. This is Baruch Fleischman, and we've been listening to Reb Yosef Chaim Mimran, this terrific book called The Ultimate Connection with God. Buy this book and talk about it.